Today, we're going to try something a little different. We're going to explore the identity of Prophet Muhammad, not through some long historical biography, but by diving into the 99 names and titles he's known by. Each one is like a different window, giving us a unique view into his character, his mission, and his legacy.
It's a great question to start with, isn't it? I mean, a name is so much more than just a label. It can really be a window into who someone is, what they stood for, and what they left behind. And when you're talking about someone with 99 different names, well, you get an incredibly detailed portrait. All right, let's dive right in. The absolute foundation of his identity, at least as told through his names, really revolves around one single powerful idea: praise. So first up, you have his most famous name, Muhammad. And the meaning is simple but so powerful. It just means praiseworthy. This really sets the tone for everything else. It's not just his name, it's a description of his very essence.
Then we have Ahmed. This one means highly praised. You can already see the theme building here, right? It's not just another name. It's like an amplifier, really emphasizing the degree of that praise.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, because the name Hamid completely flips the perspective. It means he who praised God. So after being described as praiseworthy and highly praised, now we see the other side of the coin, the praise that flowed from him. It creates this beautiful two-way street.
So you see what's happening here, right? These first three names form a complete circle of praise. He is Muhammad, the one who is worthy of praise; Ahmed, the one who is highly praised; and Hamid, the one who is constantly giving praise to God. It paints this complete, holistic picture of who he was at his core.
So we've got this core identity built around praise. But how does that actually translate into action? What did he do? Well, now we're going to shift from who he was to the nature of his mission itself.
This really sums it up perfectly. He's the Rasul, the messenger, the one who delivers the divine message. And he's the Nabi, the prophet, who receives it. But look, it goes even deeper with these beautiful, metaphorical titles like Hidi, a guide for humanity, and Siraj, a lamp meant to light the way in darkness. And you see this incredible balance within his message. He was Mubashir, a bearer of good news, bringing hope and the promise of reward. But at the exact same time, he was Nazir, a warner, who cautioned people about the real consequences of their choices. It was this dual mission of both promise and precaution.
You know, to carry out a mission that huge, you have to be a certain kind of person. So this next set of titles gives us a glimpse into his personal character, painting a much more human and, I think, relatable portrait of the man behind the message.
Just look at this list for a second. It really paints a picture of this profound empathy, doesn't it? He is Rauf, or kind, and Rahim, merciful. But it's also a very active kind of empathy. He was Aziz, compassionate, and Haris, which means he was just deeply concerned for the well-being of others.
But if you had to boil it all down, maybe the two most foundational pillars of his character were these right here. And these were titles given to him even by people who opposed him: Sadiq, the truthful, and Amin, the trustworthy. This reputation for just unwavering integrity was the bedrock of his entire life.
And that brings us to our final section. We've talked about his identity and his mission. Now let's look at the titles that define his unique place in history. These names explain his ultimate status in the Islamic tradition. This title here is so simple, but its meaning is absolutely profound. Aqib, the last prophet. And the definition is just as direct. There will be no prophet after him. This really introduces that pivotal idea of finality.
And then you have the title Mukafi, which adds another layer to this. It means he who is last in succession of prophets. But the really crucial part is what comes next. He completes the message of all prophets. So it's not just an end, it's a completion, a culmination of everything that came before.
So the main takeaway here is that titles like Aqib and Mukafi establish his role as the seal of the prophets. This is an absolute cornerstone of Islamic belief, the idea that the line of divine guidance delivered through prophets reached its conclusion with him. So, where does that leave us? We've seen him as the praiseworthy one, a messenger, a compassionate guide, and the final prophet. It really makes you think, how does seeing one person through so many different windows, so many different titles, end up shaping your perception of their single, monumental legacy?